Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Foxy98 here. Welcome back to a brand new video for you guys today here on the channel. Today we're here for another episode of my F1 2020 My Team career mode. This is part number 25, I believe it is now, for the Vietnam Grand Prix. But before we get into that, we've actually got an invitational event that we need to complete. So we're going to get cracking with that straight away. It's going to be in the 2007 Ferrari at Kota. And the objective is to get 10 overtakes in the 4-minute timer. As you can see then, I've now gone down to 1 minute remaining, and I've actually caught up with the last three cars here, the 1998 McLaren. They're all driving, so we swoop around the outside of the one, and then we're going to go down the inside of the other one, and then we're going to line ourselves up to have a look at the man in the lead. But we'll switch back on him and then go down the inside and take that position, meaning that we get the 10 out of 10 overtakes with 40 seconds to spare. A bit of a back-end slide there. And eventually now we're going to cross over, and as you can see, complete that in due time. But if you're enjoying today's video, feel free to drop it a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here as well, as I'm trying to make my way towards 20,000 subscribers, I hope, by the end of the year. And as you can see then, having a look at all of our completed lap times in total, I mean, yeah, we got that one quite easily in there. All these invitational events, they are genuinely set up for you to win them. So do them because you get free team acclaim and you get free money. And as you can see there, I got 1,000 to claim and also a lot of money. So having a look then at the R&D tree, unfortunately, an engine upgrade that we had scheduled for the car had failed. But what was annoying is that if I had enough resource points, I could have rebuilt that piece and had it on the car in time for the Vietnam Grand Prix. But annoyingly, my resources don't come in until a little later, which you've just seen now. So unfortunately, I couldn't get it on in time, which just sucks. But it is what it is. So now I'll go over to the R&D tree, and you can see here, actually, crucially, with the upgrades that have gone onto the car, we are now the 4th fastest team on the grid, which is actually quite surprising. And as you can see there, I thought that was Scuderia Ferrari, then it was AlphaTauri that was at the bottom. Oh, that kind of got me happy for a second then. But yeah, crucially, we are now the 4th fastest team on the grid. Now, I just want to say, first of all, as well, obviously, a massive thank you for all the support on the My Team videos. I've just released yesterday episode 1 of Season 2, Australia. And just wanted to confirm as well, actually, that when you're watching this video, I wouldn't have said it because I've already pre-recorded the other one. When we get to Zandvoort, that's when the new patch 1.6 update will come into place, which is where we'll see the black Mercedes. So, I mean, I'll respond to comments in episode 2 anyway, because someone's going to ask about it. But if you end up watching this one, that'll be for the Dutch Grand Prix, okay? But in towards qualifying then, and we start off great, actually. Absolutely awesome, with a broken front wing across the start-finish line. Vietnam is definitely a circuit where I struggle a lot. I really just can't get the car working around this circuit. Obviously, being a brand new circuit, it takes time. But for example, like around Zandvoort, etc., I can get going quite instantly. Whereas this track, I need more time really to just get into the groove of it. Because right now, I'm really struggling. And we go P12 in the first part of qualifying there, which wasn't brilliant. But, I mean, at least we got through into Q2. Perez slots in just behind me there by 4/100ths of a second as we go 1.1 seconds shy of the fastest lap. Big up Carlos Sainz in P3 with the usual suspects of the AlphaTauri, Haas and Williams cars and Alfa Romeo going into the bottom set of drivers. Now, in towards Q2, and our first flying lap, Q2 was a very big mess. So, our first flying lap here is on a worn set of soft tyres. Just a banker lap, see what we can do, and then we can then improve on that with a green delta time. But as I went out for my last lap, I just did the standard, drive out, and as you can see in the top right of your screens, they sent me out with no time left. Yeah. Fantastic. So, I couldn't get a second lap in Q2. So I get knocked out, and I'm P15 on the grid, which I was absolutely fuming about. I actually left the timer, so it was on 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. Somehow, it took me over 2 minutes and 40 seconds to get out of the pits, do one lap, and then for me to set my other lap time in there. Somehow, though, even on my worn set of tyres, I beat Giovinazzi. So, that just shows how bad the Alfa Romeo is. But I was really angry, because I actually felt like I could easily get through into Q3. Sergio Perez got through into Q3, and I felt like I could as well. But we're never going to find that out, because Yeah, my team are idiots. So whoever decided to computerize that, you are getting a big paid deduction. That is for sure. But in terms of the grid, it is a Mercedes front row lockout with Lewis Hamilton on pole ahead of Bottas. 2x2 nature actually. Ferraris are next on the grid. Then it's the Red Bulls, then it's Sainz and Ricciardo, and then my teammate actually ends up qualifying in P9. So it wasn't a bad job actually from Perez in the end to get that higher. Of course for myself though, a P15 is exactly where I did not want to be. And obviously Jordan King actually out-qualifying Jack Aitken. So yeah, pretty impressive actually from them. But getting onto the grid then very shortly. And as you can see now, we are going to be doing a little bit of an alternate strategy here.
Let's aim to keep the momentum going.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. So, obviously, we've got the medium compound tyres and 2 sets of softs. Now, I could do, for example, like a medium hard and do a 1-stop. But I've decided, no, I'm just going to go aggressive. Why not? Let's get some moves going. Let's be feisty and aggressive in this Grand Prix. So let's get onto it then. We've got 5 red lights, and it's lights out. Here we go here to start the Vietnam Grand Prix off. It's been a good start, I believe, for Sebastian Vettel and the Ferrari there. For us now, we're going to go towards the inside line, try and gain a couple of places in towards the first corner. You can see our lovely car just going towards the inside line, and we seem to have done so, actually, getting a couple of places off the start line as both Mercedes then go side by side. We're now going to try and get on the outside here of both racing points now, as this is going to get so close and tight on the exit there, but we've actually done it. We've got round both of them there, so Perez and Stroll getting absolutely mugged off the start line there. We've gained a lot of places now to make the drag down towards the difficult roundabout chicane thing, whatever you want to call it. But you can see there, I think that was Magnussen there, was having a little look at me down the inside. We managed to cut that one off, and we're now right into the back of Ricciardo's tail here, down towards the roundabout section. But those guys are going to have a much better exit on their soft tyres, so we need to be careful of that. Oh, it's Ocon, my bad, it's not Ricciardo. Yeah, we need to be careful of that. But clearly, you can see here on the straight, both racing points going side by side between Stroll and also Kevin Magnussen. And then my teammate Perez is under pressure from Ocon behind us. We're now going to blast our way in towards there when we brake nice and early. I actually broke a little bit. I actually broke early, but the guys in front of me broke way too late there, so we make a double overtake down the inside of Ocon and also my teammate Perez. But crucially, Perez stays in P10, but I really wasn't attempting an overtake. I had so much more entry speed because I've changed my braking tactics for this year's game. I tend to brake early into corners and then let the car roll in and carry the speed through. Because we've got a problem, yellow flag in front of us here, so someone has an issue. It looks like it's Albon and the Red Bull. So an engine failure then for Alex Albon. Knocks him out of this Vietnam Grand Prix. And that moves us up into 8th place now. Daniel Ricciardo just up ahead. My teammate Perez still hunting me down behind. 6/10 of a second to be exact. And this portion of the track here, you can really gain a lot of time on your opponents. And then obviously on the exit, it doesn't really help. Moving to lap 7 of the Grand Prix though, Ricciardo actually got past Carlos Sainz. And Sainz was struggling for some pace. We're now onto the back of him. I've actually dropped Perez because of course my tyres are now starting to come into their own a little bit in this Grand Prix. So now I fancy a little run here on Carlos Sainz. So I thought, let's have a little go around this roundabout section. Let's see if we can try anything. Bit of contact there though between myself and Sainz. So a little bit over ambitious to try and go for a move early on. That's a fantastic vista shot there. Now as we go onto the back straight now, let's see if we can try and get a move on Carlos Sainz as we open up the DRS now, blasting our way on through. As you can see, Sainz now is having to go a little bit defensive. He goes towards the inside line, means he forces me to the outside line, but we're going to swoop around the outside of Carlos Sainz, get the better run on the exit, use a bit of the curb to our advantage. Magnussen has also just got past Perez there, so bad news then on one side of the garage, but good news on the other side as my medium compound tyres are starting to come into their own a little bit as the soft tyres wear out. So now we can really pick up the pace. We've got another yellow flag. This time it's actually behind us, so annoyingly it's not in front of us where I wanted it to be, but Sainz crucially still just about holding on to some DRS as Ocon is out of this session. Let's go have a look and see what happens to Ocon then. So as he's blasting on through, is this going to be an engine failure? No, it's a mechanical problem. So no smoke coming out of the back of the engine there. Ocon parks up there in quite a dangerous place actually. As you can see now though, it's lap 11 of the Grand Prix as we're flying through all of this section. What was quite surprising to me is, as you can see the tyres going off now, as we're getting all of this final sector really wrong, is Kevin Magnussen on the soft compound tyres. As you can see there, he's actually staying out for a little bit longer, which confirms to me that Magnussen is probably going to try a soft hard strategy, which I was thinking to myself, coming into the pits now, I might have to change and go onto a one-stopper, you know, and go to hard to react to Magnussen, because I think he could be a threat. But all things considered, I decided, well, you're not going to decide what I'm going to do because you're going to see the Mercedes garage, which is completely blank, okay? We can't basically, right, I found out why it's not letting you show what the pit crew do. Because we are Force Korea, we're very, very sensitive to TV footage, and we don't want to show what our teams can do. But as you can see, we do go on to a set of the soft compound tyres. So despite what Magnussen is up to, and also my teammate Perez actually are on the hard tyres, so a lot of the drivers around me are swapping or going to a one-stop strategy, which actually caught me out. I wasn't expecting them to do this, but I've decided to stick to my two-stopper and go aggressive, because if they're going to stick onto the hard tyres, I'm going to have fresh soft tyres at the end of the race versus their worn hards. To me, that sounds like a win-win situation as we now go down the inside of Sainz in towards turn 1. I've got it a little bit deep in towards turn 1, but crucially, I'm still there on Sainz, and I can just force him out wide, give him as little room as possible without forcing him fully off the track and make the move stick there. So lap 13, we're now up into 8th place. Up the road now is Norris and then the two Ferraris of Leclerc and Vettel who are on the hard tyres. And as you can see, we caught up to them. So lap 13, now we're going to go to lap 14 of this Grand Prix. Next up the road is going to be Lando Norris to attack Magnussen there. Crucially, he's actually pitted for a set of medium tyres. So K-Mag has gone 14 laps on his soft tyres, meaning he could easily do soft medium to the end, which is a great strategy call for him. As I'm now having a look at Norris here, I actually go a little bit deep into the corner, make a bit of contact with Norris, but I actually got the move done there. So that's a bit of a rash move on Lando, I'm not going to lie, but we got it done nonetheless. I mean, Norris should be paying more attention in his mirrors to what I'm trying to do, but crucially now, we were absolutely flying at this stage of the Grand Prix, and Vettel, on those hard compound tyres, I am sorry mate, my soft tyres have got way more grip, and we're going to go down the inside of Sebastian Vettel and overtake him to go into 5th place in this Grand Prix. But crucially, of course, I still have another stop to make in this Grand Prix. Vettel doesn't. That's the big thing in this race. I'm not really fighting the Ferraris at all. I'm looking to just, well, annoy them, really. That's kind of what I'm trying to do here. Because, of course, they are going to the end of their hard tyres. I need to stop again, which means that as soon as I pit, I need to gain a pit stop's advantage on them. So, yeah, no, see the gap is 1.4 seconds between myself and Vettel, and Leclerc, I'm not even in front of him yet. So, the main man that I'm probably going to be racing is going to be in 3rd place man's Daniel Ricciardo, maybe even Kevin Magnussen as well. But K-Mag has actually surprised me with his tyre strategy today. It's actually way better than I thought it was, which kind of begs the question for me now of potentially upgrading my tyre wear throughout the rest of this season. But of course, I've still got a lot of things that I need to focus on. We go onto the long straight now here, and we're into the slipstream of Charles Leclerc. And now this is a great opportunity to go for the attack on the Ferrari man. Of course, we're not going to be able to attack him later in the Grand Prix, because of course he's in a much better strategy and car. And now as we go towards the outside line here, in towards the hairpin corner, we'll go around the outside of Leclerc and make this move stick quite easily, but actually get on the curb a little bit there. That just gives Charles Leclerc a bit of an opening to come back at me now in towards this next part of the track. We just about squirt a little bit of ERS there to hold position against Charles Leclerc. Overtake done, and that is us up into P4 now in this Grand Prix. But of course, we've still got more to do later on in the stint. Now, lap 20 of the Grand Prix. And as you can see, here's what I'm talking about. So Verstappen here is on the medium tyres. He's actually going to the end of the Grand Prix. Vettel is only 2.3 seconds behind me, and I'm about to make my stop. So no matter what, my strategy was never going to get me into play with the front runners. I just didn't quite have the pace. Or maybe it wasn't necessarily the pace, maybe it's just my strategy. And like I said, maybe if I got through into Q3, it could have helped. But I'm kind of making do with what I've got. So Vettel goes through. Hamilton there fitted for a fresh set of soft tyres, doing the same strategy as me, bar the fact that he went soft, medium, soft, whereas I'm doing medium, soft, soft. So let's have a look then and see how we get on then. So boxing now, nice bit of a lag there, 2.6 second pit stop, very nice stop actually indeed from the boys. Let's see if we can try and get out in front of my teammate Perez. That's not happening anytime soon, so that kind of sucks. Now as we scoot around the outside though, crucially the pit lane actually cuts all of turns 1 and 2, so we get on through right in front of my teammate Perez and go very wide for good measure. But crucially, as you can see here, we've actually done the overcut on Daniel Ricciardo. So Rick actually pitted earlier than us for medium tyres, but we still had the pace here to get in front of my teammate and Ricciardo. But now to go through towards the DRS section, this is where we're in trouble, because Ricciardo has just gone straight past my own teammate there. Now he's trying to go for both Force Korea cars in towards the hairpin, but crucially, I'm more of a bully and I'm not letting you through. As we go through, we just hog that inside line. I tried to give Ricciardo a bit of a shove to allow Perez to get back through, but it just didn't work out, and Ricciardo on fresh medium compound tyres versus Perez on slightly used hard tyres is not going to be that great. But what's also great for me, on the other hand, is that Jeff gave me a little bit of cheeky, high-quality intel who told me that Charles Leclerc has got a problem. And as you can see, Leclerc has now fallen into the clutches of myself. So in this race, I was settling down for P6 to finish this Grand Prix. Looks like we might just snatch P5 away from Charles Leclerc, because the problem that he had occurred at the end of my second stint. And this time around, again, despite Lando Norris's contact, actually do the same thing again. But this time, a little bit more cleaner, less contact in there as well. But crucially, we've now moved into 5th place in the Vietnam Grand Prix. Magnussen's strategy working beautifully well up in P4 there. So I'll give it a go in the last 4 laps to try and close him down. But don't expect anything crazy. And as you can see, onto the last lap of the Grand Prix, Verstappen has won the Vietnam Grand Prix. I think that's the first time Red Bull have won in my career mode, actually. We're now going to come across the line, starting from P15 on the grid, recovering to P5. That's a great result in my books. I'll take that one. I really don't like Vietnam on the game, personally. I don't know, like, I just don't work well with the car on the track. That's the best way of describing it. Of course, you know, I've done some time trial in the Mercedes-Benz, and it feels nicer because, of course, the Mercedes has got way more grip and downforce than my car does. But playing this track on my team, it's just not a good circuit for me at all. So to get P5, really happy with that. What was also really cool in this race, and what I really enjoyed, was all of the different strategies that were taking place throughout the entirety of this Grand Prix. We saw, you know, I went medium, soft. Perez, my teammate, went soft, hard. Vettel, Leclerc went soft, hard. Hamilton went soft, medium, soft. Magnussen went soft, medium. Did a brilliant race strategy. There was so many different strategies that were involved in this Grand Prix. It just allowed for such uncertainty about where everyone was going to end up. And we should have got P6, but of course, we were fortunate with Leclerc's issue to finish in P5. But, you know, if his car is going to be unreliable, I'll take advantage of that. And as you can see, there were so many 2-stoppers and 1-stoppers throughout. You can see there, I mean, Bottas did a 3-stop. I don't know why. He just did. So, yeah, I mean, you can see it all there. A very great run of races and strategies, and it paid off. Drivers' Championship, we're actually 10 points clear at the top of the championship versus Lewis Hamilton, who does actually close the gap on us after he beat us in today's Grand Prix. Of course, Hamilton probably would have been top of the championship by now if it wasn't for his crash last time out in Bahrain, but you crashed, mate. Constructors' Championship, we just about hold on to the top of the championship just for a little bit longer, as we are 3 points clear of Ferrari in second place. In terms of what the woman wants to talk to me about, I forgot her name for a second, Claire. First of all, praise the power unit, because it is really coming along nicely. And now looking at some other parts, I thought I'd just boost up the team acclaim a little bit, because, you know, give them a little bit of praise, you know. Yeah, you better appreciate my time. In terms of the rivalry breakdown with Verstappen, obviously today Verstappen taking the victory means that he pretty much beat us in every single aspect. So he beat us 5-2. So there was no chance I was going to get anything out of that. In terms of the team acclaim, though, or driver acclaim, we're both up to level 13. Team acclaim, we're up to level 16, closing in on 17. So that's really awesome news to see on that front as we're trying to press our way through. And we get a nice full fat stash of 1.1 million in the bank, which is phenomenal. Damage deductions, however, I kind of made a bit of a mess there and got 30k damage deductions. Big up Perez for not damaging the car. He's clearly very kind on the car. I'm not. So we'll need to look at that in the future. But we're going to go back to the team headquarters now and see what we want to do, resource point wise and facility upgrades wise. Of course, there's a lot of things I'm going to need to manage in this career mode. And I mean, people have already pointed this out. Durability, I am going to focus on it. Don't panic. I've seen a lot of comments telling me that my durability needs a lot of work, and I do understand that. I go down a different route to what a lot of people do. I focus on all-out performance, and then I'll focus on durability. It's just the way that I run. Speaking of durability, we've actually got an upgrade coming on. And also, we've also got a sponsorship renewal for this episode. So we could go with AF again, which has a nice weekly income and a good gold bonus. And it's literally just to qualify into the top 10. So it's nothing too crazy. But I wanted to have a look at what everybody else's stuff was offering, and just see what they were after. There's one there with a gold bonus of 500k, achieve pole position during qualifying and win the race. Right, okay, get stuffed. I'm not doing that. I could have gone with DSB Optics again. I was having a look through them all and just thinking which ones did I fancy with. You know, maybe getting a top 10 and, you know, just having a look at pretty much all of them in general. I was just basically seeing which one was attainable for me and which one would allow me to get the best resource points. Qualifying in P4 or better? Very rarely. I needed to be realistic. Could score 1 Constructors' Championship point during a race weekend. I would do that anyway, but I didn't. But in the end, I do decide to renew my sponsorship with Satellite, which is to complete 100 laps during a race weekend, which does mean, of course, I'm going to have to go into my practice sessions and smash out an absolute ton of practice programs, which is kind of boring, but it gives me a lot of bonus there. And I can do it off camera anyway, so I could do it late at night when I'm actually not recording anyway. So as you can see, we're going to chuck Satellite onto the rear wing of the car there, and boom, car is all good and dandy. And that is going to be it then for today's episode of my F1 2020 My Team Career Mode. If you did enjoy it, feel free to drop the video a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here as well. Subscribe, as I just said before, as we try and get towards 20,000 subscribers. And lastly, we're going to go make another upgrade. And I believe I'm going to go for the chassis. And for once, I think I'm actually going to try a rush to... No, I'm not going to try it. I'm just going to get it onto the car in time for the Chinese Grand Prix. But for now, guys, I'm out. So yeah, take care all. Peace.